Hello, my name is Haley. Welcome to my channel where we like to explore and live our most magical life. In this vlog, we are going on a fairy tale trip to Germany where we will explore the Bavarian Alps, the Black Forest, and more. After a long day of travel, we arrived in Munich. We checked into our hotel. It is the Wonderlock Hotel. Highly recommend. They had a beautiful gym, pool, yoga space if you're staying for a while, and just super cute studio rooms. We really enjoyed it. It was clean and lovely. We needed to get something to eat. So we headed off on a journey to find a beer garden, and we did. It was in the most beautiful building, and I got to enjoy my first German beer, which was so exciting. I had no idea what it was because all the beers weren't in German, but we really loved our food. It was so clean and delicious.
You mushed your burger. Look at my cute little potato thingies.
After that, we had a much needed night of sleep. We did wake up at like 3 a.m. jet lag. And day 2, we had a breakfast at the hotel. We went and picked up our car so we could head to Garmish, our first day of our German road trip. We also got to try driving on the Autobahn on the way there with our little engine that could. If you're unfamiliar with the Autobahn, there are areas of it that have an unlimited speed limit, so you can actually drive as fast as you want. So it's just kind of a fun little bucket list thing to check off as we headed to the cute little ski town. This was a really cool place to explore. There was an area that had an old Olympic stadium from when they hosted a part of the Winter Olympics. And you could see the ski jumps and the stadium, and that was really cool. I had also seen videos online of a place called Partner Gorge, which is on this river. But unfortunately, at the time that we went, it was closed, but we still got to get a beautiful walk in. It ended up being extremely warm and sunny this day, which we were so grateful for, but it was unexpected, so we were shedding layers. Which is super important if you're traveling there in the spring. We went in March, but after our beautiful walk, we continued exploring this beautiful Bavarian town and headed to Lake Ebsee. This is also where the Zugspitze is, so you can actually take a gondola up to the top of the mountain, which I believe is the highest peak in Germany. This was absolutely beautiful. I can only imagine what it looks like in the summer. You could walk around the entire lake, which we did, and we got lake views. We were in the forest. There was little waterfalls. Absolutely beautiful and a great place for photos. I will say the entire walk is not for the faint of heart. It was a lot, I will say that, but it was so worth it. But keep that in mind, and you can turn back at any point. You don't have to take the full loop. And another interesting thing is that at a lot of places in Germany, you do have to pay to use the restroom. And they did have an area where you could use the bathroom, but you did have to pay. So just keep that in mind if you're in this area as well. Once we finished up our walk, we headed back into town to explore. The architecture was absolutely beautiful. The river running through the city was just so lovely. I highly recommend. There's a lot of places for shopping and for food. It was just so lovely. After enjoying some treats, we did head to our Airbnb. The sun was setting and we were actually just checking in, but let me tell you guys, we stayed on a little alpaca farm in Germany in a tiny house. It was the coziest, cutest, sweetest stay, and honestly one of the highlights of our trip. This was early in the morning, the sun was rising, and you can see over here there are the boys, and then a little bit later in the morning they would actually let the girls and the babies out into the field past the tiny house, which was just everything. We were sitting on the deck. So we're on day 3 officially. We grabbed some amazing little bakery treats at this local bakery. We got a little bit of everything, and then we headed off to Neuschwanstein Castle, which I didn't realize there was another castle right there as well, which was so cool. And another thing I didn't realize is that the castle is literally built into the side of the cliff. It's not built on a cliff. When I think of like Edinburgh Castle, it's like on a hill. This is literally built into the side of a mountain, which I think is just insane. How did they even do this? So once you get to the area where the castles are, it is an extremely long walk or carriage ride up to the castle, but there's another castle. This is Castle Hochschwangau, and it was built by the father of King Ludwig II, who had Neuschwanstein built, which was super interesting. He like grew up in the area and was like, I'm just gonna build something even better. This castle was absolutely beautiful and so much different from the other castles that I've seen. I've seen a lot of old ruin type castles across the UK, and it was just so amazing to see this beautiful crafted castle, like an actual fairy tale. You can actually walk around, I think it's called Mary's Bridge, that you can walk to, where you get to see this view of the castle, which I highly recommend if you're up for a stroll. I was so scared looking down, but I did it. This was also a great place to take photos and do a little bit of exploring. And also keep in mind, if you're visiting Neuschwanstein and you do a tour, I highly recommend booking ahead of time, but also know that when you go inside, you're not allowed to take any photos or videos or anything like that. So we did explore inside Neuschwanstein. Absolutely beautiful. It was so extra, it was whimsical, it was romantic, it was a fairy tale. Like, no wonder fairy tales were inspired after this beautiful castle. We also explored the little town at the bottom of the castles. We went up to the lake that you can actually overlook from Neuschwanstein before we headed over to look at the other castle. We didn't go inside that one, but we did explore the grounds and we had a grand old time. Oh, look at this cute little holder for the information. The Palace Garden.
1837.
This is really cool. He has a nice view of the lake too. After exploring the castles, we went to a nearby medieval town, Füssen, and this town was so beautiful. There was so many different colored buildings. Again, it was whimsical, it was magical. I got a locally brewed coffee, and I just literally felt like I was in a fairy tale. I highly recommend stopping here if you're in the area. So this is the city hall. Just like this is such a little sanctuary. We always have to go to the sunrise. Yeah. Look, they left like jars of honey or something, like a little sweetener jar. Jars. This. Look at the rock in between the trees. That's so magical. They're the cedar trees. Of course there's cedar trees here. They're so magical. There's a standing stone. As I said, it was a medieval town, so there is a castle, there's abbeys or churches, there's a town center, old ruins. The city is actually walled. There's an old medieval wall around part of the city. And there's just so much to look at. And there's actually a map in the old historic part that has all the different places that you could visit. We knew this was going to be a great stop, but we didn't know how good it was going to be. This is probably the highlight of our trip.
Probably just the name. There's a salmon.
Oh, cute. They're so floofy. Oh my god.
1897.
It looks older than that.
Yeah, this there's the farm.
Look how magical that is. Dressing.
It's huge.
Just like fresh veggies and onions.
That was like. It's not what I thought it was either.
Yours looks so yummy.
Yeah, this is delicious.
After a long, eventful day, we came home to our alpacas, our little tiny house, and relaxed. Good morning. Hi. Oh, you're making noises. You're talking. Oh.
Anyways.
Day 4, we said goodbye to the alpacas and headed to Triberg. Now, this was a bit of a hike, but it is in the Black Forest, which is a bucket list item of mine, and again, a place that has inspired so many fairy tales, and was just really looking forward to spending some time in nature. Along the way, we did stumble across this pink church, and it was overlooking a lake, which was so cool. And these churches, they're so ornate and beautiful. Triberg is another town with a river running through it. Again, colorful, fairy tale like. And this actually led us right up to the Triberg waterfalls in the Black Forest, which I believe is one of the biggest waterfalls in Germany. We also saw one of these cute little Black Forest squirrels. I think the Black Forest is known for them. He has the cutest ears ever. After our adventure, we explored downtown. This area is known for inventing the cuckoo clock, so we went to the store of 10,000 cuckoo clocks. It was so cool. We did bring one home as a gift. We loved seeing all the amazing architecture and the signature German style for all the buildings. We also finally decided to sit down and eat. This place claimed they were the original creators of the Black Forest cake. Again, something that came from the Black Forest. It was super cozy, cute in here, and we tried some more German food. I ended up getting Black Forest ham from the Black Forest and then Black Forest cake. Like, how cool is that? Not only did this area invent a cuckoo clock, they also have the world's largest cuckoo clock, which I think is so wholesome. We drove up the mountain a little bit and ended our night by staying in an old ski resort, which is clean and cozy. Now, day 5 was the last day of our road trip. We headed to Stuttgart, where we spent the day looking at cars. We started off at the Porsche Museum, which was so beautiful. How could you not like Porsches? It was just actually really fun to look at all the different cars and learn a little bit more about the history. Of course, the car with the authentic tartan seats was my favorite.
Oh my god.
Okay, if this has 8 floors, it's bigger than Porsche.
Oh my god, this is so freaky. You can see cars. Oh, we bought past them. Oh my god, this is so scary.
Oh my god, this is so much bigger. This is so much bigger.
Okay, now I see why they put us in the walls, because this is scary. But
This is so tight. It's like 100. Oh my god, there's a horse, Haley.
Oh my god, there is a horse.
We're starting with horses.
Okay, this is retro futuristic.
We're starting with
We also explored the Mercedes-Benz Museum, which was also cool and a very different vibe. Both places had good coffee, snacks, bakery items, great to refresh after a road trip or just kind of refresh yourself in the middle of the day. Following the museums, we did walk around Stuttgart in the old historic downtown area for a little bit, but then we had to hit the road to get back to Munich in time to return our car. Once arriving back in Munich, we did check into our hotel. I believe it was the Ruby Lily Hotel. Reasonably priced, very hipster. They have a 24-hour bar, which includes coffee. You can also get breakfast. It was a pretty cozy space, and it was downtown, so it was fairly close to all the things, including the central train station. And we called it a night. The next morning, day 6, was our day to explore Munich. We grabbed some coffee. I met with a friend who actually lives here, and she explored with us. We found this area with these really cool old Greek columns, which was super interesting. Greek architecture. We explored churches. Again, don't sleep on the churches. Be sure to check those out. They're insane. We bought a tour to explore the Munich residence. It was very much like a palace, and it was so beautiful. As you can see, this gold ornate detailing all over the walls. They had a beautiful china, hand-painted portraits, tapestries, like my kind of place. And then all this stonework. It was a spectacular place to explore and something that I will be thinking about for a long time to come. After exploring this beautiful palace, we did find a place in the city center to grab a bite of proper German food, and this time I got a dark beer. This building was the only Gothic architecture that I saw the entire trip, and it had an elevator that you could take up to see a view of the city, which I highly recommend. You did have to pay a little bit for it, but it's such a cool way to see the city. My darling friend knew of a local spot where we could get a rainbow latte and a little treat. So we stopped there next to end our adventure. And for dinner, we got this amazing pizza. I got a seafood pizza, which I'm still dreaming about to this day, and a delicious little dessert. The next morning, we had breakfast at the hotel, and then it was time to head home. So we headed to the airport, hopped on our plane, hopped on our other plane, and then once we arrived back in Minnesota, the Northern Lights welcomed us home, which was so precious. Thank you guys so much for watching this vlog and for embracing a magical life. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you on my next adventure.